Hello, everyone. Sorry for the delay. I just had someone having some technical issues, so I was just helping out somebody. Okay, I think it's all sorted out now. It's just 2 minutes after 8:30, so 8:32 on a Thursday. Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. Okay. So, how has everyone been feeling? There's a lot going on out there, right? But there's some positive momentum. We're probably in that two-step forward, and then there's one step back, kind of that thing, that shift that happens. So it's really interesting because if you're paying attention, it can get extremely confusing and it can make no sense. And then if you're just kind of staying in your own bubble, you kind of feel like you're missing out on information because it's changing so quickly. It's almost like it's like you're hearing one thing, then another thing, then another thing. So sometimes I tap in to see what's going on. And then sometimes I just tap out because I don't want to know what's going on. But I've been kind of going in and out and just kind of staying in my heart. And sometimes people send me things, and I think sometimes they send it to me by accident. Um, and then it kind of throws off my mojo because I read it and I'm just like, okay, that wasn't something I should have read, let's say, because it kind of bothered my heart. Or if I'm hearing somebody lie on media, oh my gosh, my heart just does this thing when I can sense they're lying. I can feel their lies, and I'm just like, how do people just lie so blatantly to people? It's never made sense to me why people lie, and sometimes it's a small lie, but sometimes it's a huge lie. So we're all our own internal gauge on what's right and what's wrong. And everyone's coming from their own places. So my truth is my truth and your truth is your truth. So there comes a point where sometimes we just have to say, hey, we're going to think differently. And that might be a forever thing now based on the last 2 years. We're all going to have our own understandings, perceptions, what's right, what's not right. And in the end, we're all human beings, we're all sharing this beautiful planet. We just have to show a little more compassion and less judgment because in the end, love conquers all. That's really like when you get into that love vibe, that high vibe, nothing can penetrate it. So imagine yourself in this bubble of love. And in this new energy we're in on planet Earth, this is available to anyone who asks for it, anyone who takes that time to go within and connect to their heart. It's available. And when you're in this bubble of love, well, you're not only disintegrating darkness around you, you're also illuminating your path. So instead of falling into a pothole or into a bad situation, you're going to magically go around it. There's two ways to explain it. You can think in our lives there's potholes, there's not so good things up ahead. And when you're in that alignment, you have this beautiful guide, you have all these guides, you have like a guidance system, your guidance system that will either, you can always say it like they're almost getting rid of all those bad things in your way, but I almost feel like they're guiding you easily around them. So when I'm in alignment and I'm in that state of love and I'm walking forward, nothing bad ever happens. But if I get out of alignment, my vibration's a little bit off, I start to get worried or fearful, then I'm just gonna like fall into something not so good. And that's because I wasn't in that alignment where I would have been just guided away from it. So it's almost like, let's say there was a car accident that was going to happen and I was in alignment. Now I'm in Tim Hortons and I'm waiting for my coffee. And then someone slips in and goes, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm in a rush. Can I go ahead of you?" And yeah, sure, go ahead. Well, that person who came in and delayed me for a reason, because now I'm running a little bit later and now I have avoided the car accident that I could have been in. So it kind of like the your universe, your reality shifts to make things easier. Not that these bad or not great things don't exist, it's just you're being led around them. So the way I like to picture it is anywhere I go, anything I'm doing, I picture myself in this bubble of love and light. And I'm used to talking to my guides. I'm used to thanking them when something great happens. So then I was just like, oh, I can see why that happened because this led to this and this led to that. When you start to live in a state of presence, awareness, appreciation, and gratefulness, well, the universe takes notice and says, hey, Brenda's really enjoying what we're doing. Let's give her some more good stuff. So when you're in that state of happiness, you bring in more happiness. When you're in the state of compassion, you're bringing in more compassion. If I'm in the state of anger and frustration, well, I'm just going to bring in more of that stuff. So it's a really fun game to play to see if based on this mood, this happens to me. Based on this mood, this happens to me. And once you start to make the correlation that it is my thought process, my feelings that are creating my next steps, then why would I ever say anything negative, think anything negative, or do anything that, isn't great? Because it's just going to lead into another step that's not so great. So over time, you kind of learn to be in awareness of your thought process. So every morning I'll wake up and I'll say, okay, I am feeling a bit anxious. Why am I feeling this anxiety? And sometimes I don't know what it is. So sometimes I'll just take a few minutes to say, okay, I'm feeling anxious, but I don't know why exactly. So whatever this anxiety is coming from, wherever this uncomfortable feeling is coming from, may it be removed from my field and replaced with love and light. And when I do that, that happens. It's because anything we ask for comes our way. So ask and it's given. And the neat thing is, as a child, I was never taught, you can ask or talk directly to God or the creator, but I innately knew it. So whenever I was told that you can't talk directly and you have to go through a certain channel, I always thought it was the silliest thing. So, I'd let people tell me what they thought was right. I didn't argue with them because you're not going to change someone's viewpoint. But then I just did what I felt right in my heart to do. And as a young kid, I realized that we can connect so strongly. And over the years, the more I've done it and saw the result, is like, wow. But then I lost my connection for many years as well, because sometimes we get busy, we get married, we have kids, and you just kind of like forget about everything that matters to you, and you're doing and doing whatever to please everyone. And when you have kids, you want to please them, obviously, and you want to please this and want to please that. And a lot of us are pleasers. So it's hard to find that balance of, okay, when do I take the time for myself to really take care of me first and not this person and that person? Like, okay, I used to be the best wife, the best mom, the best worker, the best friend, the best everything, because I did what everybody wanted of me. And that was just a training I had at a very young age. It's breaking out of that program to say, no, I matter. And it's a very difficult program to break out of, because as you start to shift into I matter, and I'm going to take care of me first, and then I'm going to take care of everyone else around me afterwards. Well, people who are in your life who are used to you catering to them will not appreciate the change, although it's gradual. Some people feel it right away and they'll say, hey, what's gotten into you? You used to do this for me and you don't. And then some people have actually called me selfish, saying, you're very selfish because you're not doing this for me anymore. And I used to think about that. Am I being selfish? But then, isn't it selfish of them for wanting me to do that? So I was very conflicted because I didn't even know what the right answer is, because I'm going to say I was so messed up. I didn't know what was up or down, was happiness, sadness, anxiety, or excitement. I was just a people pleaser and I lost myself completely. So finding yourself, finding your voice, finding the call of your own heart. So a lot of us have followed things, we're following things that are expectations. We're doing what society expects. We're doing what this and this. It's really neat, because what I'm noticing is how many people you talk to and say, well, I got married because that was an expectation. I went to university because that was an expectation. I got my career. I did this, I did that. But a lot of these young kids are dropping out of university and following their heart. And I just think, wow, if I only had the courage to do that. But I was in a program, I was a pleaser, and I was going to make sure I made my parents proud or these people proud or whatever, like what I'm expected to do. I have no regrets. Well, I guess some, a little bit sometimes, but in the end, I always say, I have my beautiful children. I've learned so much from who I was. But I remember, as I was going through that self growth, I asked the universe, okay, I'm ready to know why I was this way. And this is kind of like way back. And I woke up at 2 in the morning. I put on the TV, which was rare. And there was this guy talking about human psychology. And so I'm watching this doctor talk about something at 2 in the morning, and he recommends this book. And something said, read the book. And I bought the book and I read it. And it was it was one of the tougher things to read, because I said, wow, I'm just a textbook case. My life, just reading this, is like, I'm just written in a textbook. I'm just another person. And it's running in a program that, I broke out of. But during all those years of my life, and I was kind of very embarrassed about it at first. I had my own tears of shame, embarrassment, frustration, anger for the lost time, this and that. I had to go work all through that, because all those years of not leading that life that you feel in your heart can cause a lot of personal sadness. Resentment is huge. Anger towards yourself, anger towards others, lack of self-love, no boundaries, all those things. There's so many things happening, those memories, the imprints. So it's like untangling them. So sometimes when we go through healings, it can be very uncomfortable because we're looking within. And when you look within, and you see like, okay, why have I done that? Why was I doing that? Why? It's embarrassing, it's frustrating, it's like, why didn't I know this sooner? If I only found out in my 20s and not later on. But in the end, where you are is perfect and evolving. And that's something I had to really come to terms with, saying, you know what? I am where I am, and where I am is perfect. And that old version of Brenda, well, I love her because she brought me to where I am today. And without those learnings, without those experiences, without those sad moments and all that stuff, I wouldn't understand when people are talking about their issues. Yeah, I've been there. I have no judgment, and I can show compassion because I've been there. And I know those feelings of shame and embarrassment of why did I do that? But it's just part of self-growth. And we all have, I guess, skeletons in the closet, or whatever it is, or just frustration or regrets, things like that. And some people are embarrassed of their past or where they've been. But if you talk to a lot of healers out there, a lot of them have a lot of trauma when they were children. They've been through a lot. And I always tell clients I meet, or people who have gone through so much crap in their life, that, sometimes I take it as a compliment, because when you're on this planet to hold light for those who can't, and anyone who's listening to me is like ahead of the curve, because many people cannot stand my voice. They can't stand the way I talk because it doesn't resonate with them, and that's okay. And if I start talking, they'll just leave the room because they're just not ready to hear what I'm saying, and that's okay. So it's kind of like, oh my goodness, many years ago, maybe 13 years ago, somebody told me, listen to Abraham Hicks, you might learn something. I put on Abraham Hicks and thought, what the heck is this person talking about? It feels disgusting. This is stupid. And I shut it off. Well, 7 years later, maybe 6 years later, I came across Abraham Hicks, and I could not stop listening to it. I was listening to it for 7 hours of the day, and it resonated with me. I was like, oh, well, I feel what she's saying. I understand it. And I'm like, you know what? Then it clicked that this is the same person I was introduced many years ago, but I wasn't ready. So we go through experiences, we learn and grow, we go to a next level. We learn, we grow, we go to a next level, and we learn information, and we grow and we learn at our own pace. And our own pace is exactly our pace. It's our soul's journey. So it's not to say we're better than someone else or we're not better than someone else. No one's been in our shoes. No one's been in our past lives. No one's been in this lifetime. No one knows what we see, what our perceptions are, what our beliefs are, what programs we have, what belief systems we have, whether they're right or wrong. But there's all this stuff running in our background, creating our life. And sometimes we don't even know we're just in this default program. And even though I know my program, and people will say, I'm a pushover, this and that. Yeah, I still kind of am, but that's kind of part of what I am. But I've grown a lot, so I understand it. I now have boundaries. I now have self-love. And some people get frustrated because they still think like you're too much of a people pleaser. I am a lot better than I was. And maybe this is who I am. But what I try to do every day is I kind of self-reflect at the end of my day. I say, okay, what came up today? Because every experience that has come up is an opportunity for me to grow through it. But how do we grow through our day-to-day life? Is we have to kind of go in, be self-aware of what we were doing, what we were saying, could have did this better. I sometimes I make notes like, oh my gosh, I really, if this was a gift from the universe to get over yet another hurdle, I failed miserably because I did not handle that right. And that's okay because I'm dealing with almost 40 somewhat years of a program that's deep within. How many of you are, when you're tired or stressed, you sound like your parents, either your mother or your father or both? Because when we are in a non-present state, not aware, we go into the default program. It's only when we're in awareness and present moment, we're using the part of our brain that's creative and inspired and moving in the right direction and really focusing and doing things using our authentic abilities, our authentic ways of thinking. But when we're stressed and tired, we're just falling into that default program. Or when you're worrying about the future, or regretting the past, we're running on default. And many people will say, well, I told so and so, like what you said hurt me. And they'll say, I don't even remember saying that. They don't, because they were in their program. So a lot of the times we are hurt by people who are unconscious. They don't even know they're doing what they're doing. So the neat thing is, you're aware, you're awake, try to stay in present moment as much as possible. And as you are, it's really neat to watch people around you that aren't in present moment and that are in their programs. And sometimes I'll do like, hey, come back, come back, come back, just to a close friend or family member, like get out of the program and come back to the authentic you. The authentic you is beautiful, magnificent, and powerful. The one in the program, not so much. So as we start to pull away these belief systems and perceptions and get out of our comfort zone, because what's happening right now with everything that's happening, I just feel like some anxiety from people. And I can sometimes feel like sometimes I'm feeling anxiety just because life is moving faster than ever before. I'm like, if I look back from like 6 months ago where I am now, it's very different. 3 months ago, it's like I sometimes have to take a deep breath and say, okay, I'm okay, I'm right. But things as they change, it's pulling us out of our comfort zone. Humans don't like change. And even if we embrace change, say, okay, yeah, we can do it, there's still that anxiety. Sometimes I get calls from people say, just having a bit of a panic attack because I've changed so much in my life. And I'm just like, okay, it's changed so much. Can I handle it? Well, that's where you need to reconnect. Take a few deep breaths. Know that you are loved so dearly from this beautiful universe. You have your own guidance system, your own spiritual guides around you. They come from within. So when you connect to your heart and you ground to Mother Earth and you ask for help, help is there. It's just seeing that it's there and trusting that it's there. So just practice and practice. The more you practice, the more trust you have, the more practice you can move forward. You can start to look inwardly and say, okay, these programs I have are, wow, I would love to change them. The neat thing is we all have patterns, we all have programs, but once you identify a program or a pattern, it is no longer a pattern. Now it's a choice. And now you have the choice to say, I am going to change it. And as you start to try to break it, and as you will break it over time, just be gentle with yourself, because when you get tired or stressed, you're going to default back into that program. It's in your cell memory, it's in your neurons, it's in your nervous system. And you can have people kind of like say, hey, Brenda, today you did this, and maybe you try to be more aware. So sometimes I have watchdogs ask, they'll say, okay, I'm really trying to break this program. And sometimes I kind of forget I'm in it. So if you see me doing something, can you just kind of like gently remind me? And like some people get very frustrated with me and they'll just say, well, I'm like, okay, I don't need it. I don't need to be told that way. Just, gently tell me that, you're still in the program. It's hard to break programs, especially programs that were given from age 0 to 7 years of age, because that is very deep programming. But it doesn't mean it's unbreakable. Just knowing, and sometimes like some people will say, oh, and so lashed out on me. Well, they're in that program when they're doing it, so don't take it personally. but let them know, hey, when you're in that state, I really don't appreciate it. Can you try to be more consciously aware? And if someone's really trying to break out, they might say, oh my gosh, you're right. I did lose it. I apologize. I'm really trying to be more aware of it. But as we break them, you're kind of going to go have a good day, bad day, or even a good time during the day, and kind of go like this within the day. But over time, if you continuously work at these programs, breaking them, using affirmations is great, doing emotional freedom technique, meditation's fabulous, energy healing goes at them pretty good as well. There's a lot of things we can use to break these things. And as you do them over time, they do lessen. So even though you're trying to do it and you're frustrated, don't give up, because it's going to be 1 month from now. If you're doing the work, you're going to start to feel different and better. And then it's going to be 2 months from now. And then it's going to be 1 year from now, and 2 years from now, and 12 years from now. And you over time will change into a new person, which is really your authentic self without the crap that's been put in our field over time. So in essence, what we're doing is we're already magnificent and perfect beings. We're just pulling out the dark, dense energy, the programs, the bad thought patterns, the lack of self love, lack of self esteem. And as that's being pulled away, your true essence is shining through. So we're not making you a better person. We're just pulling out the interference to show your magnificence, which is already there. And for some of us, we have, it feels like a very thick layer that we're never going to get through. And then for others, it's less and they get out of it. And there's for others, it feels like it's miles long and they just want to give up because it's just too much. But we're in a new energy where we can break through easier than ever before. So the trick I would say is you never give up. Be stubborn about taking care of your well-being and your happiness. Be like that forest that never gives up. Forests get burnt down, cut down, stepped on, and they just keep growing. So kind of like learn from that and say, okay, I'm just going to keep getting up and try again, and keep getting up and try again. Another trick is don't tell too many people that you're trying to change, because then becomes lots of pressure. And there's a lot of people that don't want you to change because they love, misery loves company. So if you tell someone, I'm sick of talking negative and doom and gloom, I'm going to be more positive. Well, they don't want you to change, because who are they going to complain with? Who's their soundboard, you know? So I would say, and how I did it is I don't tell many people. Actually, I tell very little people what I have planned, because people can talk you out of it. And not that they're not well-meaning, but they have their own programs running in the background as well. And it could be a spouse, a good friend, a parent. They're worried about your change, so they may talk you out of it. So you want to keep those things close to your heart. And as you start to do them, and as you have momentum, then you may want to have people who kind of like-minded. You can share that with them and get that momentum going. But once you are firm in your stance and nothing is going to make you sway out of it, then go ahead and share it. Because no matter if they try to talk you out of it, you're already on your way and you're unstoppable, let's say, right? So that's kind of neat. And then be kind to yourself, because you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. And sometimes you're going to have 10 good times in a day and one really bad one that throws off your day. Because when we are having a great day, it's fabulous. But if something bad happens, we dwell on it because we really focus on negative things, and it can throw off our whole day. Well, just be kind to yourself and say, yeah, so I messed up. It's okay. It doesn't have to be done today. A lot of people want to be here, but we're here. But where you are is perfect and evolving. So just be kind to yourself, and one day you'll get there. And once you get there, you're just going to make another goal anyway. We never really get it done. We just want to be moving in a more positive direction. So we're sleeping better. We feel more at peace. We have more compassion. We have less judgment. We have more love. And we're adding that positive momentum into this beautiful planet, this human consciousness, which is starting to shift quite nicely. But with the shift, there's a lot of confusion. And I've had a few people call me and say, hey, I'm a little bit pissed off because I believed this. I did what was right. And now I'm being told I didn't have to, or it's not making sense. And I'm actually angry. So that's an inner conflict, but it's okay. I mean, there's many times in my life where I was lied to from even Reiki teachers who told me, like, oh my gosh, I've been told so many lies and I was so gullible. And I think back, I'm like, oh my God, how embarrassing. Like, how did I just believe everything? I was so naive. And, I'm still got this, um, I don't know, this way of me where I want to believe people are good. I'm learning. I've learned a lot that I'm very discerning now. But if you met me before, like you could have told me the sky was purple and, I might go, yeah, really? It was that bad. But over time, as you start to really feel that self-love, then you start to feel what's right for you. And then maybe you wouldn't have done things this way or done things that way, but that's okay. That's just part of your self-growth. So I truly believe no matter where you are in your life, no matter what you have done, just forgive yourself and move forward. And then someone will say, well, I don't have anything in my past that's been good. Those people will just have nothing good to say. I said, well, then you know how to create a good past? Make today good. And today is going to be your past. So you can always start to create a better past by creating a better today and a better future. It's all going to be the past over time. And the stuff that happened a long time ago, over time, time heals. Things like energy work start to pull out these like stored memories and kind of let them go. So it's healing. It's as we're healing in this time, we're actually healing the past, the future. We're healing everything. There's no such thing as time, really. We use time to experience as a soul in a human body. So we need time so we can have some reference. So the cool thing is everything's really happening now. The past, the future, now. It's kind of complicated, but the neat thing is this lifetime that we're in is the most important one. And if you're healing yourself in this lifetime, well, you are rewriting the past and creating a better future. And really, if you notice, if you're doing self work, you're going to really see more of a positive spin happening in your life. So using positive affirmations are very powerful. Wake up every morning and say, I'm going to have a great day. Even if you have that anxiety running in your body, say, okay, I get it. I'm feeling a little anxious. Well, of course we do. There's so much happening, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going to have a really great day. So it's been a lot of changes happening. And there's a lot of people that say 2020 was one of my best years because I learned this, I did this, I changed, I opened up to self-growth. Some people say 2021 was their favorite, 2022 is their favorite. And people might look at them saying, are you out of your mind? We've been in all this lockdown, but the lockdown's kind of been a reset for many, actually for a lot of different things as we start to move into this new energy and find out who we are and start to heal. So with that being said, just love yourself and try to forgive yourself for anything you have done, anything you're embarrassed about, just let it go. And then try to forgive those who may have hurt you. Because most people who hurt you are doing it unconsciously, not even knowing they're doing it. I'm not getting people off the hook, but a lot of us are running in programs, and a lot of the hurt feelings we get are from somebody else's programs. So just think they said what they said because it's their crap, not mine. If you kind of just, it's all about perception and seeing things in broader view and being more aware of your feelings and letting things go. So with that being said, I think we'll get into the healing part because that's why we're really here. So I'm going to drink a little bit of water. We'll get the music going and we'll go from there. I'm so thirsty. So for anyone new on the call, You just want to get into a comfortable position when we do the healing. The healing energy that comes through, and it's already coming through, is going to come in and give you anything that you need. It can be healing at a physical level, a mental level, an emotional level, or all of it. This energy knows you. You have a soul signature, you're unique, you're beautiful, and it wants you to be the best version of you. So it's going to do whatever you need. And although there's a few of us on the call, we're all going to get our own healing. The energy is also going to be given to your household. So if you have members of your household, it'll be available to them. It can never be forced. It's just there. If their higher self decides to take it, it will take it and give a healing to what they need. If you have any pets, the pets generally just eat up the energy quite nicely. We'll do a clearing of your house. Now, if you are worried about a family member, if you want to send love to, to Canada, to the world, for all the craziness kind of that's shifting, and anyone that's standing up for something you believe in, you want to add energy to them, you can do that by simply just saying, hey, allow this beautiful energy to embody them. And just picture a ball of white light over anyone that you love, or a ball of white light over planet Earth. Because whenever we have a thought, a positive thought, it ripples, it has a ripple effect. Just like you dropping a pebble into a pond, we don't know what it's really doing, but that does have an effect. And just sending out positive intentions and love is so powerful, and it disintegrates darkness so easily, especially in this new energy we're in. So we're going to start the music. We're going to have less talking from me. We'll have a good 25 minutes of Reiki now. Okay. If you guys have any questions, you can always put them in the chat box and I can look at them after. Okay, here we go. Start with this song. I'm going to share my music so it's clearer, and I'm going to stop talking. Okay, here we go. Enjoy, everyone.
Yedu si inam inga haniu heyu Sina Yedu si inam inga haniu heyu hey ya See you Emmi uni uania heiuri dasi yanin hallu minaba em mahengisi Hey Yahoo, Ingan, Semma,
Wow, that was really intense. I'm gonna bring out the singing bowl just to get rid of any lingering last minute energies that need to go. Whoa, okay, very nice. I'm just gonna drink some water. Okay, everyone. Oh, all right. I'm still buzzing from that. So if you're thirsty during the night, drink as much water as you need to because that was very intense. I don't know if you felt that, but like wow. And that last song that came on, I don't know. It's in my playlist. I don't think it was set to play, so it's one of my favorite songs. It goes very deep. But whoa, that kind of got me in that groove. So just allow this love to penetrate, to do its work overnight. It's going to work for 4 or 5 days. Just drink lots of water because when you're going to the bathroom, you're getting rid of any toxins that you don't need in your body. Um, Another thing is you can get like even more healing by just sometimes during the day just say, you know what, I give permission for the healing. I'm really ready to let things go because there's a part of us that wants to hang on to things. So just kind of talk to yourself, I am ready to let this go. I'm ready to let this go. I know this isn't great, something that I do. I want to let that go. And as you're asking, it will start to chip away and release. So just be kind to yourself as you're on this journey, and and celebrate the small wins. So those days you wake up extra happier, or those another person smiling at you because you were smiling at them. If you celebrate the wins, then the more you focus on the positive, the more you're going to see. And it's so beautiful because depending on your mindset, when you go out in this beautiful world, when you're smiling, the world smiles back at you no matter what's going on in it. And as you practice it and see it and you notice it, you'll be like, wow, you know what? It really does work. So whatever you focus on grows. So focus on love, non-judgment, compassion, and spread that love in your thoughts and your actions and your words. And it just see how magnificent it just snowballs in. And it doesn't matter what's happening around us. It's what's happening here. And you control that. Nobody can take away that. You can control your thoughts. You control the way you react to people. You can control what you say. And if someone pisses you off, you know what? Just let it go and send them love because they're obviously hurting and they're obviously confused. And that's okay because we're kind of in this changing of times, which is confusing and not very comfortable for many. So just stay in the love. And if you're having a hard time, re-listen to something. There's so many great things on YouTube. There's so much beautiful music. And sometimes just finding a nice piece of music and playing it can really shift your mood. There's also a really great movie, and I'm gonna send it in the link. The Unity, the something field, the one field. So there's a book on it, but they put a documentary together. It's one of like a lot of those guys and gals that I love, that they do such great work, and they put a really beautiful documentary together. I watched it, and you can watch it free or you can pay or donate, but it's fabulous if you're interested. I'll send you the link. It's like wow, and it's got beautiful music in it, and it's so inspiring, and it really shows where humanity's going and our consciousness and how powerful we are. And I know this stuff, but I love to hear it from another perspective. I love to hear new things, and they have devices that can test things, and I know when we do this, these group healings, we are sending this beautiful ripple effect around the world, and there's so many people doing it. There's such beautiful light on this planet. There's so much love, and as we're shifting as a human consciousness and a personal one. It's a personal ascension at the same time. So as this shift happens, go within and purge out those parts of you that you don't like, because they're not really you, because the real you is magnificent, beautiful, and there's nothing not to like. So just let your true essence shine through. Oh, also, when we were doing this, we all had like this surge in our, I'm gonna call it the innate body, the Merkaba, the smart system. So what's happening is when we're in this elevated mood and this elevated energy, your natural system for healing is in heightened mode. And any cell, anything that's not right is being noticed, and love is being sent to it, and it's resolving. So if you do have pains in your body, just say, hey, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to allow this love to do whatever it needs to, because my body can heal, and miracles happen every day, and I'm going to be one of those miracles. So just ask that beautiful energy to go to any pains, whether they're physical, mental, or emotional. They'll just melt away over time. So some people can have like huge shifts and in a very positive way through this work. So it's because you're allowing it. I can't force anything. It's just creating the space, but you're taking what you can take. With that, I'm going to let everyone go to bed. It's kind of late, 20 to 10 on a Thursday. Have a beautiful family day weekend. I just found out Monday is a holiday, so enjoy it. For those of you who have some snow or ice rain, drive safely tomorrow. I'm really hoping kids go to school, but hey, it doesn't matter either way. We'll just make things work out. So have a peaceful night, drink lots of water, and just love yourself, because you are truly magnificent. Good night, everyone. Many thanks. And I'll send out the recording. It looks like it recorded okay. Everyone's sleepy. Perfect. Just go to bed. Get those Z's in and have a beautiful, peaceful sleep, because we all deserve that. Okay. Good night, everyone.